Wondering how much it really costs to live, work, and play in Alexandria, Virginia? You've come to the right place because I'm here to tell you all about it. Hey team, my name is ကျ$, and I'm a local real estate agent here in Northern Virginia and Maryland. You've probably heard that Alexandria is expensive, and it's true that it costs a bit more to live here. But just exactly how expensive is it? Today, we're going in depth on what you can expect to pay from housing costs to a night out. Let's jump right in. Regardless of where you live, housing is likely to be your biggest expense. Alexandria is no exception to that, and in fact, it might be even more true than normal since, as you can see here, it's more expensive than what you would pay on average in the rest of the US. That said, you still have a lot of options to choose from. You can live close to the city center, or you can live further out. You can live in a single-family house or a townhouse. There are plenty of houses to choose from to meet your lifestyle and budget needs. Now, to give you an idea of the actual numbers, the median price of a home in Alexandria is just about $640,000 compared to the national average median price of just over $428,000. The median size of a home in Alexandria is 1,755 square feet, which comes out to a median price per square foot of $365. Keep in mind that even though the median price is $640,000, that still leaves a lot of room in terms of price. You can still find options above and below that in price. It really just depends on what you're looking for and what your budget can handle. HOAs are not unusual out here, but the cost per month is really going to depend on the area you're looking at, the age and size of the building, and amenities and utilities that are covered. There's such a range of prices that it's hard to give exact numbers, but to help you budget, I would recommend expecting to pay at least a few $100s per month for HOA fees. Just be sure to check the cost for each house you're interested in so that you can get a better idea of what your HOA fee per month will be. If you've decided to rent rather than buy, you also have a wide variety of options. You've got everything from apartment complexes to single-family homes, townhomes, or condos to rent. You can still expect to pay a bit more than the national average though. This chart shows the breakout of the average cost of a rental based on the number of bedrooms. As you would expect, bigger places cost more, with a 4-bedroom home costing about $2,600 per month, and then they go down in cost from there. You'll also notice that Alexandria is a little less expensive than the general metro area, but still much higher than the rest of the United States. Another cost to factor in is taxes. For Alexandria, you'll be looking at state income taxes, sales tax, a personal property tax, and, if you decide to buy a home, property taxes. Virginia's income tax is broken into 4 ranges depending on how much you make, but it maxes out at 5.75%. For sales tax, you'll be looking at around 6% overall, with only 2.5% on food and personal hygiene items. You'll also need to factor in the personal property tax, which is a tax based on the assessed value of any vehicles that you own. As I mentioned, if you're buying a home, you'll also need to make sure that you're factoring in property taxes to get an idea of what you'll be paying in total each month. In most of Alexandria, the property tax is $1.13 per $100 of assessed value. However, if you live in what's known as the Potomac Yard Tier 1 Special Services District, basically anywhere around Potomac Yard, you'll be looking at a tax rate of $1.243 per $100 of assessed value. So what does this really look like when you're buying? Let's take a quick look at what that breaks out to for a monthly payment. Let's say that you bought a house for exactly the median price of $640,000. You used a 30-year loan with a down payment of 10%, no mortgage insurance, and an interest rate of 5%. Your monthly principal and interest payment would come out to be $3,092.09. To figure up your taxes, you would take the $640,000 and divide that by 100, which gives you $6,400. And then, to find your tax bill, you would multiply by 1.13, which comes out to $7,232. That's the yearly tax, so you would divide it by 12, giving you $602.67, which would be added to your principal and interest payment. And finally, let's assume that you had an insurance policy costing $2,000 per year. Divide that by 12 to find your monthly cost, and you get $166.67. Add it all together, your monthly payment would be $3,861.43. As a side note, any HOA fees would be added to this total. Since the numbers can be so different from area to area, I did not add that in here. Whether you decide to rent or buy, the next question is, what's it going to cost me to actually live here, what with heating, cooling, electricity, internet, and so on? Our average cost for utilities is actually a bit less than the rest of the country, and it also ultimately really depends on your own preferences. For me, I like it to be a bit warmer in the house, which means less cost during the summer and more cost during the winter. Sitting at about 74 or 75 degrees is my sweet spot. But if you are one who likes it cooler, you'll probably have higher costs during the summer. On top of all that, some houses are really well insulated and others aren't. Because of all of these different factors, it's really hard to give a cost estimate. That said, and without knowing what your habits are, I'd recommend starting out by planning to pay at least $400 to $500 per month on electric, gas, and water, and then adjusting from there. If you're planning on buying a house, it's also possible to reach out to the current owners to see if they're willing to share their average utility cost per month. And of course, the most important utility of all to consider, high-speed internet. The main service providers in Alexandria are Comcast and Verizon, and depending on the deal that you get and what add-ons you're paying for, you'll be looking at around at least $100 per month for internet. Overall, you'll probably be looking at a minimum of $500 to $600 per month on top of your rent or mortgage payment. The most important topic of all, not that I'm biased, is what it's going to cost you for a dinner out. I love to eat out and try all sorts of new foods. In my opinion, it's an opportunity to learn a little bit about a new place without traveling all the way there. In this area, you have a lot of different options: fast food, fancy fast food, chain restaurants, sit-down restaurants, and then the really bougie places. Think Michelin-starred options. Looking at a non-chain sit-down restaurant, you can expect to pay about $20 to $25 for a main course, maybe $15 for an appetizer, a soda for a couple bucks, and the best part, a dessert for $10 to $15. All told, if you estimate a little high, you can expect to pay a bit over $50 for a full course per person. What's really going to increase your costs is if you start adding in the beers, the wines, the cocktails, and so on. To give you an idea, you can expect to pay about $10 to $15 for a cocktail. If you start adding in a couple of those, expect to pay $70 to $80 per person. If you're buying food and cooking at home, you'll definitely be saving a lot compared to going out to eat. You're still about 13% above the national average, but it's going to be a lot less expensive than $80 per meal. You'll find all the major retailers like Target, Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods. In addition to those options, we have local stores like Wegmans and Mom's Organic Market, plus some other fairly local chains like Aldi, Lidl, and Weis Markets. Wegmans is one of those stores that has a really strong following. Imagine Publix or H-E-B, but for the Northeast. They've got some awesome options, and you can pretty much always bet that their food is going to be delicious and fresh. They even have an in-house deli bar where you can buy food that's ready to eat. Alright, so this is a really high-level, overarching look at what you might expect to pay living in Alexandria. Overall, we've gotten about 50% higher than the national average cost of living, and although it definitely is a bit more expensive than the rest of the country, keep in mind that different areas have different costs. It may not be as bad as you think, especially if you're willing to budget just a little bit. If you're thinking of moving to the area and want to learn more about different parts of town, or if you're researching and would like to dig deeper into what you're finding, I'd love the opportunity to help you out. Please reach out however is easiest for you. Text, email, or call. I'm here to help. Last thing, before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe if you thought the video was helpful and you'd like to see more like it.